Okay, in the part that I removed and put in the in there, I cleaned it up and it actually goes right on top of this. I could paint that there, but I'm afraid I'm going to be running into the same issue where everything's going to be smeared on. That's the one thing I'm trying to avoid, to show glue smear. So we're just going to do this a bit, a little dabbing. And then we just there. Even if it's the back, that's fine. Ooh, maybe that's not a good idea. It's gonna stick. I just feel it's moving around all over the place. You know what? I'm gonna risk it. Do this. And put that there. Yeah, I was afraid of that. So what I have to probably do is get one of the sanding paper and try to like lightly sand that off. On the other side, I don't care. This side, I do care. Alright, well, when these mistakes do happen, you gotta figure out how to take care of it. But that part is done. Okay, so the next one was a bit of a challenge. There was a detail part here that if you took these two and put on top of it, there was a gap under it and it didn't look right. Even though I'm looking at this picture that you see here, that it's showing it's there, it feels like it's flush. So what I did was I took the Olaf knife, began to scrape and sand it down a bit, you know, flush it out without actually hitting the edges. That was the one fear that I had, that I was going to hit one of those. And sure enough, I was able to do it. Now, if I do it this way, I could probably get away like that. I'm gonna try to put the glue on the part. By the way, this is a dental tool. You don't actually have to buy it from, you know, from any place. There we go. Maybe I should have found a way to flush that a bit, but I think that should be good enough. May have to put a little bit more, but let's see what happens. Come on, flip over, you twit. Alright. I don't know if this is resin or PVC, not PCP. Let's hope it works. I will stress test it a bit later on after it dries. Look at that. Okay, so some parts needs to be assembled, like the two that you see here. This little circle part here, and this one goes there. And Sometimes you gotta force it in there. This is actually one of the detail parts that goes on the side of the rail cannon. I think it's even up and okay, but just to play it safe, I'm going to put a little bit of regular glue on it so that way it gets into the crevices so it can hold into place. I'm going to put it right over here. Here's some that I've already done. I'm about to do that one in a minute. Some good detail parts. This one I think goes behind the backpack, or behind the head on top of the backpack area. So that's some good detail as well. This one I'm a bit worried because this thing kind of snapped to the side. I don't know if you could see it. But I'm going to see if I can put it right on top of this. Here we go. And I'm going to glue it on. Hopefully it'll seal up a bit, but let me apply a little pressure there. I don't know if this glue is perfect enough to hold on, you know, to adhere. I was using the super glue all this time. Maybe I should use super glue, but this thing is so small that I'm afraid that, you know, I may damage it. And speaking of which, if you plan to buy a product like this, be very careful. This is very light, stupidly light. I removed it from this tray, snapped it off. As a matter of fact, I'm about to do it for these because this has to be put on this. And I didn't put my finger. I was like doing this, and the part went bing. And I was like, oh no. And then I felt silent. Went silent. I tried to hear the audible sound of where it was going to fall. Fell right behind me. Carefully maneuvered around to get the broom. And luckily on the first sweep I was able to find it. So, yeah. These are very, very delicate parts that you're going to have to be very careful with. Don't fuss around with it. Come on, get out, thank you. These are detailed. I know these have to go in the arms. This has to go behind the leg, front of the leg, side of the leg. I think this one, let's take this one out too. I'm going to separate them because I know one is for the other. Some of these detail parts actually go under the kit, and they're like, okay. Can be very careful with that. Alright, let me clean these up, continue on putting the parts on this kit, and we'll review each one of them to see how it looks. Give me a second. Alright, so, oops, I've been finishing up the remaining parts that I was able to work on, and I want to show you the results. Before I glue that on, let me show you. So, yeah. So here is one of the radiator parts, which unfortunately, as I was removing that, the sides began to break off. And I was saying to myself, oh shoot, what happened? Obviously these are very, very thin and they're very, very brittle. So I decided to even it out so one is shorter than the other. I am noticing right now that one is maybe a little too longer. So what I'm about to do on camera is carefully maybe remove a bit of that. I don't want to use, you know, it is kind of a lip type thing, but you know what, I'm afraid I'm going to break it off, so I'm going to leave it alone. But that's the back part, and here is the front part. So these two are done right there, and of course here is the leg part that goes there with a little notch, followed by that. Then we have the two front skirts, and then the two back skirts, and the front part of the crotch. I believe the black one's around here somewhere. I put it to the side, and I put for those parts that are here, I put it there as well. Now, unfortunately, there were 6 of these, and one broke off in half. So okay, I said, you know, for this is fine. I don't see any need for the one in the back. Don't see that would have been perfect here, but whatever. So the last parts that you're seeing here. Oh, here's this. I put that there. You know, I don't see any other parts. I didn't put the chest yet. I want to clean it up before I put on the 2 side chest parts. These are the parts that go right on top of here. I found this one there that went here, but the instructions are very, very vague and not good clear pictures. Not high resolution pictures where I can actually zoom in and see it. There was a lot of pixelization on the images that you're seeing right now. Here's you know, obviously this dried up fine. I didn't see anything for the other shoulder, so I think that's pretty much it. I don't have to go crazy over this, you know. Each part is now in its clip. I'm waiting. I'm going to finish up putting these on. I said something about photo etch parts on another part, but I'm going to wait a bit before. I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to do the photo etch parts. Maybe that's a little too much for me. But I got the other foot to do. Sand these parts down so I can align this here. I still have to look how I'm going to do the gun, whether I'm going to put it all as one piece and then assemble it and then paint it as one piece. I think I'm going to do that. I don't know yet. I really don't. Yeah, this is taking, you know, I had to be very careful with this. Absolutely very careful. But I'm almost done with the remaining parts that you see here. And then we begin the priming. So stay tuned for that.